Hi everybody, welcome to Stamping with Melva. I'm Melva Peters and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in British Columbia, Canada. And you can find me online at stampingwithmelva.com. A minute or two late here, suddenly realized that I had everything set up. I have my card all planned out, and I realized I hadn't got all my streaming stuff set up. Technology. I think I'm a little slow with the time change today. Hopefully you remember to set your clock ahead. And aren't kind of struggling with that time change like I seem to be. All right, today it's Sunday and I jump on Sundays at 12 noon Pacific and share a card. And today I'm showing you the Sweet Citrus bundle. I used this a while ago for a lot of cards and haven't pulled it out, but decided today it was the day. It's also the last day to register for the monthly card club that I do that features the Sweet Citrus bundle this time. So the club for Canadian residents includes 3 cards, half a pack of the designer series paper. This time we're using the Delicate Desert designer series paper, as well as pale papaya ribbon and the iridescent pearls or iridescent rhinestones. So you get that. It's $45 in person or $50. So you can either get it by mail or you can come and join me for an in-person class. So that's what I thought I'd use today. I haven't played with it. I just absolutely love this bundle. Hey, Betty, welcome. All right, so let me switch over. So this is the Sweet Citrus bundle. When I saw this in the catalog, I knew it was one I had to have. I just love anything citrus. So, and it's a hybrid embossing folder. So the bundle includes the photopolymer stamp set, the dies, and then the embossing folder. And this embossing folder embosses lovely images, but also you can cut out. So you can cut and emboss at the same time. So you can do the stamped images and then cut and emboss them, which is what we're going to do today. Okay, and then you also have some really cute sentiments, some flowers, leaves. You can make this into, I'm going to do oranges today. You can make it into grapefruits. You can make it into lemons or limes. You can make it into blood oranges, all sorts of things you can do with this. It's really cool. Okay, so let's pull out my supplies. I did some pre-stamping, pre-embossing, just so you're not watching me do it. So I've got some of the flowers already stamped and cut out. Okay, so I'm using thick basic white cardstock for my base. And we're going to score this. So this is 4 1/4 by 11, and we're going to score it at 5 1/2. All right, and always fold into the raised line or the mountain and give it a good burnish with your bone folder. Okay, then I've cut a piece of Calypso Coral, which is 4 inches by 5 1/4. And then I cut a piece. This is one of the papers from the Delicate Desert suite. And I just love these little polka dots in pale papaya. So I've gone ahead and embossed this using the embossing folder. So that is going to go on that layer like that. Just kind of some texture to the back. Then we're going to do some stamping and create kind of some oranges. Now these are photopolymer stamps. And so this particular one that's got the kind of the outside, the rind of our fruit is kind of flimsy. So I always suggest that you just kind of take it and just kind of flop it down onto your work surface without trying to position it, and then put your block on top and lift it up. That way, this is going to be in the kind of the shape that it wants to be without you trying to position those. I find that it's hard to get them lined up so that, because you're going to stamp, this is two-step stamping. You're going to stamp this inside of your fruit and then the rinds. And so if you kind of let it just flop on your surface first, then you can put it onto your block and you will find that it will match up better. So we're going to stamp the inside of our fruit in pale papaya. Isn't that pretty? Just love it. All right, and then the outside of the fruit in Calypso Coral. And this also stamps a, I hope this is going to work. I just realized that I've stamped that. What am I doing here? What am I doing? There we go. My brain's not working. I tell you, it's got to be the time change. Okay, so we're going to stamp. So you can see by positioning, just kind of letting it flop on the grid pad or grid paper before I put it on the block. It now lines up. So we're going to stamp the outside rinds in Calypso Coral, and that will line up like that. Isn't that cool? I just love these. All right, so now I've got my it's a very red or orangey lemon, but you don't have to use that one. Okay, so now I need to pull the dies. So it's this die here, and there we go. Line it up like that. And I'm going to just use a little bit of Post-it note tape. Like that. Actually, no, because we were going to emboss this, weren't we? Okay, I don't want to do that. Okay, let me bring in the embossing folder. So one of the things that you need to do is you're going to fit your die into the embossing folder, and you fit it onto the side that has the Stampin' Up! Logo on it. So just kind of position your die until it kind of clicks into place. You will feel it, and then it will be, you know, a little hard. It will sit right in the grooves it's supposed to. Now, I want to cut this out. I'm going to trim my piece down a little bit so it's easier to position. So I'm going to take, and you can kind of see this through. I have to figure out, my brain is just not, okay. So you can kind of see the shapes of the stamped images through. So I just kind of position that, and then I'm going to turn this over, and I've got it somewhat gripped so that the die isn't shifting out of position, and but I can still move my paper. So it's not too bad, but it needs to shift a little bit. So just, it takes a little bit of wiggling to get it into position. But if you just kind of put a little bit of pressure on your embossing folder, the dies won't shift out of position. So I've got this lined up that I think is okay. This piece could move a little bit. There we go. And then you just take this. I'm going to bring this in. So much stuff going on my team. So you use your platform number 1 like you would, this is like a hybrid or a 3D embossing folder. So platform number 1 and platform number 4. And you just run it through as if you were embossing your cardstock or designer series paper, but this has your die in the middle. So when you pull it out, the die comes out, and now you've got these amazing embossed pieces of fruit. And I will hold them up. I don't know that you go, there you go. You can see the embossed fruit. Isn't that cool? Just makes them look so real. All right. The other thing that I want to cut is I went ahead and stamped some leaves on, this is Granny Apple Green, and I stamped 2 sets of leaves in Granny Apple Green and on Granny Apple Green paper using Granny Apple Green ink. So I'm just going to bring in my mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss. Get that lined up. I usually use Post-it note tape, but I think I can position that and hopefully it won't shift around. There we go. I'm finding the mini machine, since I broke my wrist and it's still quite sore, although the break is healed. I now have, again, I think it's kind of the signs of carpal tunnels because of the time it was in the splint and the brace. And so I'm finding that mini machine much easier to use than the big machine. So if you've got, if you have issues with your hands or friends or family, the mini machines are a great option. I mean, there are some limits about what you can do with it, but for the most part, it's been really good to have the mini. Okay, so I'm just going to adhere that to my Calypso coral piece. I'm gonna wait because I've got some pale papaya ribbon that I think I'm going to tie. Maybe actually we'll tie this around this gorgeous pale papaya. This is the open weave ribbon that comes in all of the in colors from 2021 to 2023. So these are all of the colors that are retiring. Pale papaya, polished pink, evening evergreen, soft succulent, fresh freesia, all retiring this year. So this is the ribbon that will be disappearing, unfortunately. So I'll grab my tweezers from my embossing kit and use them as an extra finger. You can use a glue dot as well. And as I always, turn my card upside down so that I can control where the tails go. So that's the theory. Okay, and then we can tie the bow. Don't lose that. Okay, and then we'll take that out. And then you can fuss and make your bow as big or small as you want it. Bring your tails down. And if you need a glue dot, you can actually add a glue dot underneath your bow. Which I think I will do, but I will wait till get. So now you can take, I'm going to use dimensionals. Almost at the end of this. I've been kind of using the edges of this dimensional sheet for a while. All right. And find some more dimensionals here. Oh, time to open up a new package. So these are the full size dimensionals. Not sure I'm going to use this image that looks like an orange lemon, but it has nice color. So maybe I will put some dimensionals on it and we'll see how it goes. Okay, so we're going to start with the slice. Get that kind of positioned like that. And then the little piece. That. And then the half. Like that. And I don't know, maybe. Yeah, I think I will. It adds some nice color. Hey, Johanna, welcome. All right, so then let's use, I like to use glue dots when I tuck little, leaves and things underneath my stamped images, the ones that are popped up. So I'll just put, ooh, that's a pop of color. Let's put this one down here. That way you can just kind of tuck it underneath and then press down to cut my ribbon off. Okay, do need a glue dot underneath that ribbon. So we are going to use, I always use my take your pick tool. If you've never seen one of these take your pick tools, oh my gosh, they're the most amazing things. So my piercing tool on the end is well loved. All right, now I did cut some flowers out of Calypso Coral, and I might just kind of put a couple of little flowers just to add, so we can use. So that there are two different dies for the flowers. There is one die that cuts out 3 flowers, 1 large and 2 small, and then there are individual dies that cut out the larger flowers. So I think I need some mini dimensionals for these little flowers. And then there's also little tiny centers for the flowers. And one of them looks like it's got, well, it has 2 parts to it. And so it actually stamps the centers for the flowers that are part of the 3-part flower die. It stamps both of those centers out at the same time. All right, so let's put one more just because I like to have odd numbers of things. So let's put one there. All right, looking good. Now this, come out here. Now I know I've said I use Stampin' Seal when I have ribbon, but usually that's when I have ribbon that is adhered to the back. This is tied all the way around, so I'm not really worried about it coming loose. But if I have ribbon that is adhered to the back of my card, that's when I use Stampin' Seal on the back of my layer. All right, then these are the iridescent pastel gems, and they come in 3 colors. They come in the Calypso Coral, Pool Party Balmy Blue, and then these kind of light pinky ones. And so I think the Calypso Coral ones will go perfectly on the card. So I'm going to put kind of 3. And then I think I'm going to put 1 on each of the centers. Even though I stamped the centers, I don't know, I just kind of like these. Now I've probably got an even number, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, let's put one more because I always do odd numbers. There's a lot of embellishments. You can smell the oranges. Yeah, I know, it's just such a pretty stamp. It looks so real. Now, this is thick basic white, so I'm not going to put anything on the inside of my card, but I am going to stamp these 3 flowers here. And then I've got the centers. So this is the stamp that stamps the centers on the 2 flowers that are part of this, so that you get 2 centers stamped at once. And then, so these little stamps don't lose because they are tiny and could easily go missing from yours. Oh, I don't have a sentiment. Oh, goodness. Okay. What am I doing? We always put sentiments on our card. So I did pull out the one that says thanks a bunch. So we will just stamp that in Calypso Coral. And fussy cut, because that's what I do. I think I'm rubbing off on, so we had a team meeting just before this, and one of my team members did an amazing demo of a gift card holder, and I was so pleased. She fussy cut. I think I'm rubbing off. You don't have to fussy cut. You can use a die or a punch, but I like to fussy cut. All right, I think we'll put that kind of up there to balance things. Right. And we have a pretty card that I think you can smell the oranges, Nancy. So yeah, there we go. I like that. You can kind of see the shining of the iridescent gems. Let's put our lid back on our glue. Last night I didn't put the lid back on my glue, and of course I had to kind of get it going this morning. All right, there we go. There is a pretty card using the Sweet Citrus bundle. So if you haven't looked at this, check it out. It's so pretty. If you are interested in the Sweet Citrus monthly card club, let me know. Today is the last day to register for the March club. Next month for April, we're using Petal Park for our club, but this month is Sweet Citrus. All right, I will be live on Tuesday night at 6:30 with my sketch. I'm hoping to be on my card class tomorrow night. I do a free card class on Zoom on Monday nights at 7 o'clock Pacific. I do have an appointment that I have to drive to. Hey, Gian. Hey, Felicia. And so I'm hoping that I won't be late getting home from that, and I will be live or on the Zoom, but I will post it if I cannot join our Zoom class tomorrow night. All right, everybody, thanks for joining me. Hope you have a great day. Happy stamping.